So we just got back from SHOT Show here at Airgun Depot, and little surprised because at SHOT Show they show you cool crap and then you have to wait for like 9 months to a year. Yep. But Hatsan surprised us with a package. We actually got our hands on the first shipment of the Semi-Auto Barrage and BullMaster. So we spent a lot of time with them. You guys have a lot of questions. We have answers. That's what's happening today on Under Pressure.
Play the music. So the BullMaster and the Barrage, two all-new guns from Hatsan that are semi-automatic, which is something we haven't seen from Hatsan before, but we are very, very excited.
Yeah, and it's not that there isn't semi-autos that are out there, but really Hatsan has delivered kind of the first one that is affordable and you should probably actually consider.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of the first that it really has appealed to the masses. Before this, they were kind of a specialty item.
Either too expensive, you couldn't get your hands on it, or
yeah,
just
or overly
really
complicated, that kind of stuff. But having shot these quite a bit now, I have to say, they're pretty cool little guns. I really like them.
It's worth taking a look. So when we posted the SHOT Show video, a lot of you guys had questions about these. A lot of people are very excited by them.
Yep.
So you have questions, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to answer all those questions and show you what these can do and have a little fun at the end too. So what's question number one?
So one of the biggest questions that we got right off the bat was about the shot capacity. People noticed that it has a fairly large air tank, but they also noticed that we mentioned it uses gas from the firing cycle to cycle the action.
So the manufacturer lists in 22 caliber that you're only going to get 50 shots, 177, 60 shots, but I actually got about 80, 90 shots before it really dropped off. I took it from 250 to 100 bar, about 80, 90 shots. It's performing for me. I'm surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, definitely a really high shot count for any rifle, and I think that a lot of that has to do with the fact that this is a 500cc air tank.
And it's using that air to recycle the magazine, but it's done efficiently. The air hits a spring back there, moves the mechanism, cycles the bolt. So the full bolt and firing pin's moving on each shot, but it does it efficiently because 80 shots per fill, awesome. Question number two.
It is not. Neither of these two rifles have an internal regulator in them. However, in our testing, we did see a pretty flat shot curve with both guns, so pretty impressive. It kind of bucks the trend that we see a lot with Hatsans, where you see, you know, pretty low velocities and then it spikes and then it kind of starts to taper off.
It's a little bit more flat.
Yeah, it was a little flatter, not quite as big as a hump there in the middle, but
yeah, and it's not regulated, but it's not too bad. And I think if you're buying a gun like this, you're probably not buying it for consistent shot string. You're probably buying it to pull the trigger as quickly as possible.
Yeah, exactly. So question number three.
Simple answer is they're working on it. So I wouldn't wait if you're on the fence, because I mean, sometimes working on it means it's going to take a while to perfect it, which I appreciate. I want them to do it right. But that's the idea. They're going to try to get the 25 cal working with the power numbers that you expect out of a Hatsan, but it's just not available yet. So, question number four, what's the difference between these two guns?
Internally, these guns are pretty much the same. You've got the same 500cc air cylinder, you have the same barrel and shroud system, same barrel length. Even the triggers are pretty much the same. The only difference is that on the Barrage, it's connected directly to the action, opposed to where the BullMaster, it's going to use a transfer bar system. Other than that, the only real difference is that one is a bullpup and one is a standard rifle configuration.
Both of these, you got your extra mag storage capacity. You have your secondary grip with the air gauge located internally here. Still uses the standard Hatsan field probe, just a different location here at the back of the gun instead of the top of the tanks like Hatsan usually does. And really, essentially the same gun, but
yeah, the standard rifle is going to be more friendly for ambidextrous shooters, so if you're a lefty, you're going to want to go with the Barrage. On the BullMaster, if you were a lefty, the bolt would basically be right by the side of your cheek, and as it cycled, you'd have to worry about it hitting you, and obviously that's uncomfortable, plus it causes jams and that kind of stuff. The Barrage has a little bit more adjustability too with the length of pull on the stock, and I really found the Barrage to be, obviously I'm left-handed, but to be the more comfortable of the two. And as far as the weight goes, they pretty much weigh exactly the same. The Barrage is half a pound lighter than the BullMaster, which kind of bucks the trend.
Counterintuitive, because a lot of people, I'm going to get the bullpup because it's lighter. It's not, though. You could argue maybe from a balance of how you're holding it.
Sure.
But they're about the same weight.
Yeah, really in about every way. You got the same gun. Major difference is just the configuration. Question number 5.
Yeah, the idea is, obviously semi-auto sounds like a lot of fun, but a lot of questions you guys have is, am I buying this just because it's semi-auto, it's kind of a novelty and fun, I can pull the trigger and fire 12 shots quickly, or can I actually hunt with it? Is it accurate? Things like that.
Sure, and I definitely say that these guns are something you'd want to take serious. They make good power.
Yep.
Power numbers are pretty on par with every other Hatsan rifle that's out there.
Yeah, and 22, you're getting about 34 foot-pounds, which is pretty much what most Hatsans get in 22.
Yeah, great for small game hunting. You know, if you wanted to plink around with it, they're perfect for that too. But these are good utility rifles, just like any other Hatsan. They just have the added feature of semi-auto built in. So
obviously, if you're getting a semi-auto, it is going to be a certain amount for fun, but you are giving up some things. This is not the Quattro trigger, so it's going to be a standard trigger. It pulls at 6.7 pounds, and like I was shooting all morning, I think I got a sprained finger by the end of it. But I think you could still use it for hunting. It's not just for having fun, right?
Yeah, definitely. The gun makes good power. You know, that 34 foot-pound mark is nothing to shake a stick at. I mean, you're still going to be able to hunt small game with it, rabbits, and that kind of stuff. No problem. So I actually think it'd be a lot of fun to hunt with, just because if you're like out here in the West, we've got big prairie dog colonies, and if you're sitting on a prairie dog colony, fast follow-up shots are what make prairie dog hunting fun. So something like this, yeah, you're not going to be able to, you know, rattle off shots really fast like you would with a competition semi-auto, but you're going to be able to follow up faster than maybe you would with a bolt action or a side lever.
Nice.
So question number 6, I think the biggest one.
Accuracy is everything, so we spent all morning shooting this and trying to find the right pellets too. Just got to say this in general, you got to find the right pellet for the gun.
Yep.
I think what happens a lot of time, people get a gun, they'll find the wrong pellet and they'll think it's inaccurate, where really you just got to find the right pellets, like any other gun in that matter. It's the same thing in the firearm world, right?
Yeah, you got to find the bullet that your rifle's going to like shooting the most.
And oftentimes they're made around a pellet. So I spent all morning and we narrowed it down to a few pellets you should consider, and kind of no surprise, once again, the JSB Jumbo Heavy. It is our favorite pellet. It seems that most guns, I think most makers are actually building their guns around that pellet, but once again, with the JSB Jumbo Heavies, I was able to get a 3/4 inch group at 50 yards. So outside of the Jumbo Heavies, had a little bit of luck with the H&N Crow Magnums that was a little loose, had some flyers. The RWS Superdomes didn't work at all, so I went back to JSB, and actually the Ultra Shocks, there was one flyer in the group, but just from a feeling standpoint, actually that was probably my favorite. I feel like I could get 3/4 inch groups with those. It was just the one flyer. And with that hollow point kind of Ultra Shock design, for whatever reason, there's nothing scientific about it, but that would be my recommended pellet on this. It's a little bit heavier. That's how you're going to get the 34 foot-pounds, where the Jumbo Heavies were only like 31 foot-pounds. Yeah,
you did a great job testing those out and suffering through all those crappy pellets that didn't work.
Well, it's not so much they're crappy, just not made for this gun. Well, some of them are crappy, but there's a lot on the no-fly list. And if you want more information, click in the description below. We have our definitive guide where we've put up there a lot of the stuff that works and doesn't work.
So overall, a lot of good things about this gun. We obviously really like the fast-firing semi-auto. Accuracy was very adequate.
Price point was surprisingly good.
Yeah, for semi-auto, they are about the best option on there as far as competitive price goes. Was there anything you didn't like about these guns?
Just a few things. I thought the mags, sometimes they'll get hung up. I had a little bit of jamming issues. Not huge, but you might have to tinker with the mags. I know we got one bad one in our batch. That was, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I had some issues with the mags. One of the things too on this gun, I used the single piece scope mount, and I noticed that on the rail it would kind of slide forward a little bit and it would jam up loading the magazines. That's just me. I mean, obviously you can fix that with using separate rings instead of using a one-piece scope mount, but obviously something to be aware of. These do have the combo rails on there.
It's not really made for Picatinny, so
you're going to want to stick with Weaver or 11mm rings.
Yeah. As I already mentioned, the trigger pull is really heavy, can't adjust it. And you know, the weight, I mean, this with a bipod and a scope was like 13 pounds.
Yeah, this is 12.8.
Yeah, so a little bit brutal there. So though we're being a little nitpicky, it's the first kind of wave of semi-autos. I'm very impressed that they were able to deliver what they did at a great price point compared to what's out there, and that it performs, because there's been other ones that are on the market that just simply didn't perform and you should avoid. So with that said, let's have some fun. You know, Cameron, I was at an event about 4 months ago with Speed Silhouette, and I'm like, man, a semi-auto would be sweet for Speed Silhouette. So why don't you and I have a little competition, see if I can dethrone the mighty Cameron. Feeling good? Let's go do this.
All right, let's do it too.
You're going down.
'Cause I am the champion again.
Damn it, Cameron. I get my participation trophy, right?
Nope, it's Trump's America now.
Ah, they repealed that. I forgot that. Damn it.
Guys, thanks again for watching Airgun Depots Under Pressure. We had a lot of fun making this video. We hope you enjoyed this quick look at the new semi-automatic rifles from Hatsan.
Which, by the way, we're the only people who have them right now because we got that first order. You snooze, you lose to everybody else. Sorry, suckers.
That's right, guys. If you want one of these rifles, these guns are available now on our website, so if you're interested, be sure to click the links in the description below.
If you want to learn more, definitive guide, go ahead and click. That's like all our test results, graphs, power numbers. You can learn all about it.
Yep, it's all there for you to pick apart and tell us what we did wrong.
That's what the comment section's for.
If you have questions, make sure you leave them in the comment section. We try to stick around in the comment section for a few days after a video goes up so we can answer any questions that you might have. We appreciate you watching. Be sure to share this video with your friends, and if you like what you saw, throw us a subscribe. We'll see you next week on Airgun Depots Under Pressure.